Hi there, and welcome to Supervising and Coaching Employees. To those I've not met, my name is Martin Leahy, and I designed this course. I'd like to take a couple minutes to speak with you about three things that I believe will give you a context for the course that might be helpful to you in getting the most out of it. The first is that there are three themes that will actually be recurring throughout the 8 weeks. They're woven throughout everything that we'll be doing. I'd like to discuss those. Secondly, I'd like to share with you the model that I used to design the course. And I want to do that for two reasons. First, because I think if my thinking's transparent to you, that you might get more value out of the course. And secondly, it's an adult learning model that you yourselves might find very useful if you're designing a learning intervention, especially a coaching intervention. And finally, what I'd like to talk about are the particular activities that you're going to be engaged in over the next 8 weeks. Because this course is different from previous courses that you've taken, and I'd like to give you an overview of that. The graphic that you see in front of you was the result of some research that a colleague and I did, Mark Magerman, on the experience of coaching. And you'll see that at the center there is a person with a coach, and at the periphery, goals. The boundary for coaching is helping a person achieve goals. Three themes are at the center: experience and experiment, relationship, and awareness. We start with experience and experiments. In coaching, the experience of the client is privileged. The client or the learner, depending on what you call the person you're working with. Their experience is primary, and it takes precedent over theory. The coach asks the learner to engage in some experiments, to try some things differently, and to see what will happen as a result of those activities. So learning happens in experience. The next area is relationship. Relationship is going to occur in two ways. First, there is the question of how is it that a coach can create a relationship with a learner that can support a person to grow. Relationship also comes into account when we look at the client's relationship with self. And so the next theme is awareness. Awareness is important inasmuch as many of us go through life with large parts of our lives existing outside our awareness. And the task for the coach is to help the learner cultivate awareness, to help the person live in an aware's manner. Let's now turn to the course activities and the learning model that is the foundation of those activities. And so you see a picture here of a learning model that upper right starts with experience, and that's how this course is designed. You will do something, and then you will reflect on it. After you've reflected on it, then you will go to the readings and build theory. And finally, you will apply the learning that emerges from that process in real life. This graphic depicts the kinds of activities that you'll be engaged in. Notice experiments in the upper right. In the introduction for each week's unit, I'll present an experiment and ask you to go and carry that out, and then in the discussion that follows, to describe what happened. In part B of the discussion, I'm going to ask you to engage with other learners to make meaning of those descriptions, to build theory based on those descriptions and the readings. And by theory, I mean a new way of seeing something. Finally, you will be delivering 6 coaching sessions over the course of the term, and you will be writing 2 formal papers, one at the middle of the term and a final course project. So I would encourage you to go and read the syllabus carefully. Given this course does have a different design, it's worth your time going through that. And then secondly, I suggest that you go to Unit 1, read the introduction for the week, listen to the experiment that's presented there, do that experiment, and then come to the discussion area and describe what happened. I hope you enjoy the course. Take care.